rumbling cattle. In faith we look to thee. Whether the phantoms flash the truth you see, most I find earth around the world, your words are fair and true. When questions and debates arise, we always look to you. All time and space and liberty, rambling canopies all belong to thee. Rambling canopies all belong to thee.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Enterprise review. As always, Captain Trek is here with me. How are you doing, Cap?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm not too bad. So today we're going to do two different episodes. First one will be Shadows of Pajem, and the second one will be Shuttle Pod 1.
Yep.
And before we go any further, I guess it's about time I show off the new tech. So, yay, I can be on screen. Finally.
Absolutely.
And it won't look like it's snowing behind me for the first time in, well, ever, because my old camera made it look like it was snowing behind me. So hopefully people like the new camera, and it actually looks good on YouTube because it looks good on here. But first time I'm really using it on the stream, so we'll see how this goes. So, Cap, our first one was Shadows of Pajem.
Yes.
What was your first overall thoughts of that one? Just a rough, quick, brief take.
Well, overall, it was a solid episode. Had some insight into what was going on. Some history with the Vulcans and the Andorians. Just things. It was a good, solid episode.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. Shadows of Pajem for me was very well done. I liked the writing. I liked the flow. I liked the story. It definitely, between the two episodes, this is the better one. Actually, I'm kind of shocked that they put such a stinker after this one. But anyway, so basically, the main gist of this is the seeds have started to grow from the episode when they found out that the Vulcans were having that secret listening post in their little monastery there.
I believe that was called the Andorian incident.
Yes. So we find out that the Andorians went back and basically blew up the place. And now, of course, the Vulcans are pissed with the Federation for Archer's involvement. And because they can't punish Archer, they're going to punish T'Pol. Because, a race that does not have emotions or emotional response still has to give an emotional response. But okay. Moving that aside, I guess that just shows we're all dicks in the inside, right? Even if we are Vulcan.
Oh, Vulcans are definitely dicks.
Yeah, definitely, especially in Enterprise. So moving on, they go to find this planet, and they're going to go investigate, and they get invited down to have dinner with the Chancellor. And Archer uses this time to talk to T'Pol because the Vulcan High Command has basically said we're sending a ship. She's coming home, and she's being brought home in disgrace because we're going to pin this whole incident on her.
Absolutely.
Archer takes issue with this. Archer can't believe that she's going to be okay with this. And so he takes her along on the away mission so that he can have time to maybe talk her into putting up a little bit of a fight. What are your thoughts so far on the episode? Pretty good still?
Yes.
Pretty good build up?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So then, as they're landing on the planet, they get attacked and, of course, kidnapped because what the Chancellor forgot to mention this little detail, just minor problem. There seems to be a radical group that doesn't like the government that they happen to be at war with, but not at war with because they're a minor problem, but they're not a minor problem. Oops, forgot to tell you. A little bit of a dick move, don't you think?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Let's see here. We're having a civil issue with people of our own. Yeah. But we're not going to tell you because, well, it's not really that important, even though you're going to be landing near them. Yeah.
Yeah. And welcome, Aberjam. And but yeah, so they get they start talking and stuff like that. Eventually, there's we have a few nice moments between Archer and T'Pol, and then they give, of course, the ransom notice. They're kind of told by the government, "Oh, we're doing the best we can, and don't worry about it." And they just get the ransom message. We want guns and stuff, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then, of course, the Vulcans show up. And the Vulcans are like, well, where the hell is Archer? He's not available at the moment. Oh, where's T'Pol? She's not available either. And then when they tell the Vulcans are like, okay, you primitive morons, we'll take it from here. It's basically the gist of it. Okay, you primitive morons, we'll take it from here. And so they really go out of their way in Enterprise to show the Vulcans as absolute a-holes. Because that's the theory that comes across is, yeah, okay, idiots, we'll take it from here. You bloody morons went and lost our officer. What the bloody hell? All right, fine, we'll clean up your mess. So,
well, the fact is, they also want to go in with guns blazing.
Oh yeah. Forget peace talks. Forget we're going to negotiate to get them out. We're going in all guns blazing, and we'll teach them not to take a Vulcan citizen again, those sons of bitches. Which doesn't seem very Vulcan to me, but okay. So, great, Wonderbar. So then, of course, Trip doesn't like this at all.
No.
And he goes, okay, we're going to have plan B. Plan B is we're going down. So they get down to the planet, and then they're automatically attacked by the Andorians, because, of course, the Andorians are there. Oh, joy. Then we find out that the Andorians are basically backing the rebels, and then the government is being backed by the Vulcans. So I don't know if this was a take on the Korean War, but it sure could have been.
Definitely.
Just a little bit. Two warring factions supporting opposite sides of a battle. Yeah, you could draw some parallels.
I think you could. Quite honestly, I think you could.
And Aberjam agrees that the Vulcans in this show are not very Vulcan. Yeah, they're not. I mean, the Vulcans in this show, especially for this episode, they're like, yeah, no, we're not even going to talk to these idiots. We're going down all guns blazing, and they're going to learn not to cross us again. And I was like, okay, but that doesn't sound Vulcan to me.
No.
Now, if this was a Klingon commander, oh yeah, I'm on board. Yep, okay, that makes sense. But for it to be coming out of a Vulcan, little odd.
Oh yes.
But
Yes.
within the theme of the show, it makes sense. Within the overall Star Trek, it don't. So you've kind of got the conflict there.
Yes.
And in fact, the more I think about it, the more it bugs me. But for the purpose of this episode, it gave Archer somebody to play off, and he's always good in the Vulcan. When he has conflict with Vulcans, he's usually makes for good TV.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
So,
I think
go ahead.
one thing is, keeping in mind that the captain and T'Pol are tied up in a cell, and they've been struggling to get out while the things are going on the planet. And of course, things happen. First, they're tied up back to back, and then when they manage to get untied, they, T'Pol falls on Archer.
Oh yeah, that made me laugh. That made me chuckle just a little bit. He got to inspect the good commander, sub commander, very well in this episode.
Oh yes.
Sci-fi
Just
guy
level.
says almost first. Howdy, Captain Trek and Rambling Canuck. Welcome.
Yes, hello, sci-fi guy.
And
And
I hope everybody will forgive me. I'm still getting used to having the cam, so if my body language or direction at the camera is not exactly 100%, bear with me. I'm getting used to actually being on camera. So I'm doing the best I can. And I hope that the actual camera image is not too bad. I hope it's clearer than the last camera I had. Okay, so
yes.
anyway, getting back to where were we there, Cap? Oh yeah, it's the good captain getting a better look at his sub commander.
Yes.
Oy vey. So, and Aberjam UK says only 4 actors have nailed truly being Vulcan. Nimoy, obviously, OG Sarek, and TNG Sarek, and
Tuvok.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I could somewhat agree there. Those are the main 4 that come out.
Yes.
That stand that stand out for me. So getting back to the episode, so the crew of the Enterprise, and with help from the Andorians, are going to break them out because the Andorian leader feels he owes Archer. So this is his way of clearing his conscience because he doesn't like having to owe anybody anything.
Especially a pink skin.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go into history and get my channel taken down. I'm not going to. Oh, shite. Okay, so, anyway, so they get in, they get through the main gate, they do everything else. And of course, right as they're about to pull this off, mission completed, they're about to get this done. In come the stupid Vulcans, blasting everything to shit and ruining everything.
Absolutely. That's the Vulcans.
Oh, joy. So after a brief firefight, they are able to, of course, rescue the captain and T'Pol. However, as they're arguing, because the Vulcans are arguing, why the Vulcans are arguing, I don't know, but they're arguing. One of the rebels, I'll call them for lack of better term, grabs a gun and shoots at the commander of the Vulcans, which of course T'Pol jumps in front of, takes the bullet, and they of course turn and obliterate the guy immediately with like 17 shots to make sure he's dead. Not just turn and fire once. No, there was what, 8 shots?
Oh, easily.
8 or 10 shots to make sure the guy's dead. So then Captain Archer takes T'Pol back to the ship. Captain Archer has a talk with the commander from the Vulcan ship and basically persuades him that, she did save your life. So maybe bringing her back to Vulcan in disgrace might be a bad idea. Just throwing that out there. Might be a bad idea. So here's what you do. You go and you plead your case and you make sure she can stay on my ship. She's going to be in our med bay for a while. You go take care of what you got to take care of. But I don't think you really should be taking her back to Vulcan. And I think you should probably do something to make sure that happens. And that's basically how this episode ends.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how it ends. And quite honestly, I enjoyed the episode.
I enjoyed it. But boy, did the Vulcans get fucked in this one. Like, if you're coming in from TNG or any other Star Trek, and you're looking at the Vulcans in this episode compared to the Vulcans in any other episode, you're going, who the fuck are they? If you didn't know that was supposed to be the Vulcans, you'd be going, who the fuck is this race and why do they look like the Vulcans? Are they Romulan? Because you'd almost think that Enterprise took the way that the Romulans were portrayed in TNG, and this just came to me, and portrayed the Vulcans the way TNG portrayed the Romulans.
Yes. Agreed.
Just kind of hit me that in Enterprise, the Vulcans are more like the Romulans were treated in TNG.
Absolutely. And we can tell that Aberjam would like to be tied to T'Pol.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he'd also like her to fall breast first, but
I do too.
You'd be Aberjam. You'd be first volunteer to be Archer's stunt double during that stunt. Just saying. So overall, out of 10, what would you? Oh, and thank you, Aberjam, for agreeing with me. Yeah, I know it just hit me as I was thinking about it. The Romulans in TNG are basically how the Vulcans in Enterprise are portrayed. You would think if you were a TNG fan just coming into this and you didn't know that those were supposed to be the Vulcans, you would think that Enterprise was dealing with the Romulans.
Absolutely. That you can't be further from how Vulcans behave. And you later find out stuff, but at this point, there's only so much we know, and right now the Vulcans are assholes. But so what do you think of the episode overall?
Overall, I'm going to give it a 6.
Really? Because you usually rate stuff higher than I do. I'd have to rate that a 7, personally.
I'm going to give it a 6 because originally I would have been right there with you at a 7. But the more I think about the Vulcan thing, I'm starting to really not like it. The more I'm thinking about it, the more it's starting to bug me. And I have a feeling that means that my view on this show might be taking a deeper turn dark real quick. Because the more I think about that, the more it's starting to bug the hell out of me.
As I said, we'll find out more later. We just have to get through the first season. Which is why we also watched the next episode, Shuttlepod 1.
Okay, so can I give the review of this in 30
Go
seconds?
for it.
It
Go for it.
sucked. Moving on.
I think we can go a little bit more in depth than that.
Okay, it was corny and it sucked. Moving on.
Well, okay. You do have to keep in mind that you have two crew members that were in a shuttle pod, which is why it was Shuttle Pod 1. It was Tucker and Reed. And I do think there was some merit in the show.
Seriously,
far as-
Cap.
As far as
Merritt, he dreamed of DePaul.
as far as the character development between Reed and Tucker.
Okay, I'll give you that. If there's any cherry in this crap sundae, it's the development between those two.
I'm looking for a hidden gem in this shit pile.
That's the only cherry in this crap sundae. I'm sorry. The rest of this episode was damn brutal.
And of course, they're trying to find their way back to Enterprise after.
Yeah.
And then, well, I'll let you take over.
Well, and then they find out that there was a ship destroyed, and they see bits of the Enterprise, so they automatically assume that the ship that was destroyed on an asteroid was the Enterprise, and that all their friends are dead, and that there's no survivors, and that they're pretty much hooped because they only have X amount of time of life, air left, and they can't go to warp, so they've got to travel at impulse, so they're pretty much going to be dead before they get anywhere.
Yeah, 9 days initially, yes.
In 9 days, which eventually gets cut down to 2.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
After an incident, which
I do want to welcome Trey from Max World Entertainment and Kronos. Welcome to the party.
And thank you for
joined at a
coming.
very, very fortuitous time. This is when Rambling Canuck goes, "This was bullshit."
Well, let's see here. Now we've gotten to the point where they're in the shuttle pod. They are going through the rations because, of course, they're going to eat. And Tucker picks a dinner with mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Did you know that mashed potatoes can cover are that are edible? Apparently, are also a good sealant.
I have to call bullshit on that one, even temporarily.
No, it's showed right in Enterprise. Mashed potatoes make a good sealant when your ship is like impaled into the vacuum of space. Mashed potatoes will fix that right up for you.
Yeah, nothing like mashed potatoes to patch.
What the fuck? Of all the stupid potatoes.
Potatoes, yes.
Alrighty then. Anyway, carry on, Cap.
And of course, we were fortunate in the fact that he decided not to finish his mashed potatoes because they had enough to put on that area to seal
both holes.
Yeah, both holes on either side of the ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes works better than crazy glue, folks.
And then,
welcome,
of course,
Darren. And also Chris Persia, welcome. Welcome to my brain melting into goop.
Trust me, Chris Persia, we love potatoes. This episode, however, not so much.
It's like a natural born thing. I have to like potatoes. Anyway, Darth Revan's gonna kill me for that one.
Oh, absolutely.
But no, I'm sorry. That's just stupid. That is absolutely stupid. mashed potatoes seals the hole. What the
Well, at least we can say this much. They, did find the bourbon on board.
Oh, yes. They drank the captain's bourbon. I wanted Archer to say something, and he never said anything at the end of this episode about that.
Nope.
They drank the captain's bourbon. There should have been at least some kind of throwaway line like, you both owe me a bottle of bourbon. We'll deal with that later. Something. They drank his bourbon. What captain lets that go unchecked?
I don't know any.
You guys thought you were dead, so I get it. But you owe me a bottle of bourbon. Just saying. That should have been in there. With all the other corny shit they threw in here. Like the dream of T'Pol. And then he brings it up to T'Pol in person at the end. Why, I don't know. But okay. This episode hurt my damn head.
Yes. So let me ask this. What would you give this one?
A 4.
Oh, we're agreed on that one. Absolutely.
And I'm tempted to throw it down to a 3, but I'm being nice and I don't know why. Because it made me laugh a couple of times, I think, is the only reason it's getting a 4.
And I'm just grateful to be past this episode.
But yeah, I mean, like, for me, this is a tale of two different shows. I mean, other than the fact that I think they are completely butcherizing the Vulcans in this show. And that's really starting to bug me. Because as I say, they seem a lot more like the Romulans in TNG than Vulcans to me. Just, I don't know. And Darren Wagner says Shuttle Pod 1 was written by Brannon Braca. Okay. Who also wrote a little of the episode called Threshold. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you, Darren. Now I understand why this was absolute garbage.
Yes.
I hate this episode with all the... Now I'm going to drop it down to a 3. You should have answered this beforehand because... No, it was just stupid. Mashed potatoes sealing the hole in the damn ship. What the hell? Of all the things. Anything other than a stupid... I'm going to take some mashed potatoes and that'll cure it. Like, what? Like, is this fix your ship for rednecks? What the hell? I'm going to get in shit for that comment, too.
Yeah, by which one now?
I'll be the next one on Twitter. They'll be yelling at Robert Rambling Canuck said this bad comment rednecks thing. Take him down.
Cancel Rambling Canuck.
Yeah, there you go. Bloody fucking hell. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thanks, Cap, for dropping in and making me watch this.
My pleasure.
Truly the bane of my existence. And I want to thank everyone who showed up in the chat. I hope everybody enjoyed. A couple of quick mentions as we're doing the roundup here. Make sure to check out Trey on Max Wordle Entertainment. He'll be starting up at 8 o'clock, so in just under a half an hour. And
I'll go ahead and drop that link in chat.
Cap. And he'll be doing his Advanced Major Wednesdays, so make sure you show a little bit of likes over there with that show.
Absolutely.
Also, later on this evening, Life with Matthew will be doing his virtual pub. So it is a bring your own booze event, so please do show up. And show Matthew, a like, a share, comment or two. And until next time, take her easy, folks.
You don't want to show up, you don't have to.